When you choose quiet work over constant noise, you are making one of the most powerful investments of your life. The world often glorifies being seen, being noticed, and being loud. But the truth is, the most extraordinary results are not born in the spotlight. They are born in silence. It is in the quiet hours when no one is watching that greatness is built. Discipline, consistency, and focus in the unseen moments eventually create results so undeniable that they speak louder than words ever could. The secret to transformation is not in seeking applause, but in committing to process. Loud achievements are simply the harvest of seeds planted in quiet dedication. A tree does not grow roots in the open. It develops them deep underground where no eye can see. But those roots are what give it the strength to stand tall when storms come. Likewise, the work you do in private will give you the stability, strength, and resilience to withstand life's challenges. Too many people waste energy seeking validation from others. They want recognition before they have even done the work. But recognition should never be your goal. Excellence should. Quiet work is a contract you sign with your future. It is a promise that you will do the hard things now so that your life can echo loudly with success later. Understand that your consistency matters more than your exposure. Anyone can be inspired for a moment, but those who quietly labor day after day without applause are the ones who build lives that others admire. You don't need to announce your grind. You don't need to prove to people that you're working. When the results show, they will prove it for you. Quiet work requires humility, but it also requires belief. You must believe that your unseen efforts are not wasted. You must trust that the seeds you are planting will grow in time, even if the soil looks barren for a while. Success is never instant. It is cultivated in silence and revealed in season. The louder you try to be in the beginning, the weaker your foundation often is. But when you let your results speak, no one can deny them. The challenge for you is this: stop broadcasting your efforts and start multiplying them. Stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. The quiet worker builds a life of substance, while the loud dreamer often remains stuck in talk. Choose the path of substance. Choose the discipline of silence. And one day, your results will make all the noise you'll ever need. Quiet work builds lasting success because it is rooted in discipline, patience, and vision rather than the shallow desire for recognition. Too often people equate visibility with progress, believing that if others can see their efforts, they must be on the right path. But visibility is not the same as productivity. Quiet work is the kind of effort that does not need an audience. It is the effort done when no one is watching, when the world is asleep, when distractions are minimized, and when the only witness to your grind is you. There is a unique strength in working quietly. It protects you from the distractions of comparison. When you keep your work private, you are not burdened by the pressure of matching someone else's pace or style. You can focus entirely on building your foundation brick by brick. Just as a builder doesn't invite the crowd to watch every stage of construction, you should not invite the world into the fragile beginnings of your journey. A strong foundation is built in silence, and only when the building stands tall do people finally take notice. Lasting success is never created overnight. It is the accumulation of thousands of unseen choices, the decision to wake up early, to practice a skill longer than anyone else, to sacrifice temporary pleasures for long-term growth. All of these choices add up over time. While others are busy chasing quick wins and short bursts of attention, those committed to quiet work are planting seeds that will produce fruit for years. This is the essence of lasting success, not just achieving a single moment of recognition, but building something that continues to flourish long after the applause fades. Quiet work also forces you to develop inner strength. When you do not have external validation cheering you on, you must learn to rely on your own vision and belief. This self-reliance builds resilience. It teaches you too keep going even when results are not immediately visible. And this resilience is what separates those who quit at the first sign of difficulty from those who endure until success arrives. Quiet workers are not shaken by temporary setbacks because they have trained themselves to trust the process, not the praise. Another reason quiet work builds lasting success is that it allows for mastery. True mastery requires repetition, practice, and refinement over time. If you are constantly seeking to showcase your progress prematurely, you may never give yourself enough time to truly master your craft. Quiet work creates the space for mistakes, learning, and growth without judgment. By the time you reveal your work to the world, it is no longer in its rough, unpolished form. It is strong, refined, and impactful. Furthermore, quiet work instills humility. Success achieved through quiet effort does not need to be shouted from the rooftops. It is evident in the results. And humility is a trait that sustains success because it keeps you grounded. People who rely solely on noise to establish their worth often crumble when the noise dies down. But those who have built their lives on a quiet foundation continue to thrive regardless of external recognition because their worth is not tied to applause, but to the substance of their work. Finally, quiet work builds lasting success because it aligns with a deeper truth about life. Real growth happens in the unseen. Seeds grow underground before they sprout into the light. Muscles grow stronger in rest after consistent training. Character is shaped in the moments no one else observes. And just as nature shows us, the unseen is often the most critical stage of development. When you honor this principle by committing to quiet work, you ensure that when your results finally appear, they are not fleeting, they are built to last. Words are powerful, but they are not enough to build credibility. Talking about what you want to do, what you plan to achieve, or what you dream of becoming can inspire momentary excitement, but without results, words eventually lose their weight. Results are the ultimate proof. They cannot be debated, denied, or dismissed. While talk fades into the background, results remain as visible evidence of discipline, persistence, and follow-through. Everywhere, people are filled with promises and declarations. They say they will change their lives, start a business, improve their health, or transform their mindset. Yet most of those words remain only words because they are never backed by consistent action. But when someone takes those same goals and quietly executes them, the results eventually become visible, and those results speak more loudly than any speech or announcement ever could. Results have a universal language. You don't need to explain them, they speak for themselves. A healthier body, financial stability, a thriving business, or a life filled with peace and strength, these things cannot be faked. People may doubt your intentions, but they cannot doubt the evidence of your results. And that is why results carry a power far greater than empty talk. The truth is, people pay more attention to what you do than what you say. Words might capture attention for a moment, but results command respect for a lifetime. When someone sees proof of your hard work, they no longer need convincing. They may have ignored your words, but they cannot ignore your results. It is results that transform doubters into believers, skeptics into admirers, and critics into silent observers. The process of achieving results is what builds integrity. Integrity comes from alignment, when your actions match your words. If you're always talking but never producing, you create distrust. Even in yourself, you begin to doubt your own words because they are not supported by evidence. But when you back up your talk with results, your confidence grows because you know you are a person who delivers. That inner confidence radiates outward and strengthens how others perceive you. Another critical truth is that results cannot be rushed. They take time. That is why most people fall short. They want the glory of results without enduring the patience of process. But the ones who stick with it day after day, working in silence, slowly accumulate undeniable proof. They no longer need to announce their progress because the results begin to speak on their behalf. When results finally show, they open doors that words alone could never open. Opportunities flow to those who prove themselves through evidence. Results attract trust, partnerships, and influence. They position you as someone of substance rather than someone of noise. And this is why the loudest statement you will ever make in your life is not with your mouth. It is with the life you build through consistent results. If you want to stand out, focus less on announcing and more on producing. Focus less on convincing and more on delivering. Eventually, your results will do all the convincing for you. And once they do, no one will be able to deny the reality of your effort because results are louder than words and more permanent than promises Recognition is appealing because it satisfies a deep human need to be seen and validated. But recognition is fleeting while consistency is permanent. If you chase recognition without building consistency, you might gain attention for a moment, but you will lose it just as quickly. It is consistency, the ability to show up again and again, even when nobody notices, that creates results that outlast recognition. The world tends to celebrate moments of success while ignoring the process that made them possible. Someone may be recognized for achieving a breakthrough, but that breakthrough only came after years of consistent effort. Recognition celebrates the outcome, but consistency is what sustains the outcome. Without consistency, success collapses as quickly as it appears. Consistency matters more because it strengthens character. Every day you show up, regardless of applause, you are proving to yourself that your commitment is real. You are building discipline that recognition can never give you. Recognition depends on others, but consistency depends on you. And anything that depends solely on you is within your control, which makes it far more reliable than waiting for validation. Recognition also has a hidden trap. It can make you complacent. When people praise you, you may feel as though you have already achieved enough, and that false sense of accomplishment can slow you down. But consistency protects you from complacency because it is not fueled by external praise. It is fueled by internal standards. A consistent person is not working to be seen, but to honor their commitment to growth. Another reason consistency matters more is because recognition can be selective and unfair. Some people will ignore your progress simply because they do not want to acknowledge it. Others may overlook you entirely. If you rely on recognition to keep going, you will become discord. Aged when the world does not notice your effort. But if you rely on consistency, you keep going whether or not anyone claps. That is the mindset that ensures progress regardless of who is watching. Consistency also compounds over time. Small actions repeated daily create massive results. Recognition, on the other hand, does not compound. It comes and goes in flashes. You cannot build a life on flashes. You can only build a life on steady bricks of discipline. The person who is consistent, even in small things, will eventually surpass the person who only works when recognition is guaranteed. In the long run, recognition usually comes to those who remain consistent anyway. It may not come immediately, and it may not come from the sources you expect, but the world cannot ignore someone who continually produces results. However, by the time recognition arrives, you will not need it as much because consistency will have already given you confidence, growth, and strength. Recognition will feel like a bonus, not the foundation. The reality is simple. Recognition may motivate you for a moment, but consistency transforms you for a lifetime. The applause of others can fade, but the discipline you build by showing up consistently will stay with you forever. If you want real success, stop chasing recognition and start building the habit of consistency. Because in the end, it is not recognition that makes you great. It is your ability to keep going, even in silence, that defines you. Quiet work builds a foundation that no one can take away from you. It teaches you to trust the unseen process, to believe in the seeds you're planting even when nothing seems to be growing yet. It teaches you that results are the true voice of your effort, and that words, no matter how loud, will never carry the same weight as evidence. Every brick you lay in silence becomes part of the structure that others will one day see and admire. Results have a way of cutting through doubt. When people question you, they will not be convinced by arguments or explanations. They will be convinced by what you've built. Let your results be your testimony. Let them be the undeniable proof that you showed up, stayed faithful to the process, and refused to quit when no one believed in you. Consistency is what ensures those results continue to grow. Recognition may come and go, but consistency never leaves you. The habits you build, the daily disciplines you honor, and the quiet sacrifices you make are what shape your destiny. Every time you remain consistent without applause, you're writing the story of your success in invisible ink. And when the time is right, that story will be revealed for all to see. The process is always more important than the applause. Too many people chase the spotlight, but the spotlight is fragile. The process is what sustains you when the spotlight dims, when you fall in love with the grind, when you pour yourself into doing the work instead of trying to be seen doing the work. You unlock the kind of growth that cannot be undone. You must also trust the unseen season of growth. Seeds take time, and so does transformation. Just because your progress is invisible today does not mean it isn't happening. Success requires faith, the faith to keep moving forward, even when the soil looks barren, even when no one notices, and even when your efforts seem to go unrewarded. One day, what you built in silence will bloom so loudly that it cannot be ignored. Discipline in silence creates strength that noise can never match. True discipline is doing what needs to be done without needing to announce it. That discipline makes you stronger, tougher, and more unshakable than someone who only works when the crowd is watching. The storms of life will test you, but if you've trained in silence, you'll be ready to stand tall when others fall apart. This is why quiet work creates loud results, because it builds you from the inside out, transforms your habits into character, and turns your effort into evidence. Success is never about what you declare with your mouth. It is about what you prove with your life. And the loudest life you can live is the one that was built in silence, sustained with consistency, and revealed through undeniable results. In the end, your silence today will become the loudest voice of your success tomorrow.